All right, if you're like me and you're watching the ILV price, especially over the past few months, this is what you've been seeing. It's just trending down. And it seemed to have another big dump last night. So as most people would do, I hopped into the token chat on Illuvium just to see what people were talking about. And I saw, I think it was Josh.eth. He mentioned in there that having a low ILV price is actually bullish for RevDis. And he's completely right. And in this video, I'm going to break down why that's the case and why if you're staked in ILV, having the price go down is actually not a bad thing at all. So there's 4 scenarios I'm going to play out here. And by the end of this video, I don't think you're going to be too worried about price of the actual ILV token. None of this is financial advice. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel and you like this video, and let's get right into it. So for this first scenario here, let's say you have 5 ILV staked. Each one of these circles is representing the total revenue distribution, and the top one is with a $100 ILV token, and the bottom one is with a $200 ILV token. So if you have your 5 ILV, you have a certain share of that RevDis. Whether the token price is $100 or $200, you have that same share of the pie. So in a complete bubble, your RevDis doesn't make much of a difference between a $100 ILV and a $200 ILV. But we're going to look back to this one in a second. So let's slide over to this one. So SILV2, if you're not sure exactly what that is, it's a synthetic token of ILV. You can get it from claiming staking rewards, and it's typically traded cheaper on the secondary, but in game it has the same purchasing power as the ILV token. So that's why we're still pricing here $100 ILV versus the $200 ILV. So in this scenario, each of these circles are going to represent the entire SILV2 supply, which, let me remind you, is pretty limited. And with staking rewards ending literally next month, the supply is only going to be going down. So let's say there's an Illuvium gamer out there who wants to spend $1,000 in game. Maybe they're spending $1,000 a month. Maybe this is a whale spending $1,000 per month in Illuvium. If they want to use SILV2 to fund that while SILV2 still exists, they're going to need to spend 10 SILV2 to get that $1,000 if ILV is worth $100. Now at the $200 price, they only need to spend a smaller sliver of 5 SILV2. Now when SILV2 is spent, it is burned out of the system completely. And once there's no more SILV2 to spend, gamers are going to have to spend ETH, and that's where the revenue distribution comes from. So at a $100 ILV, that player is burning 10 SILV2, and at a $200 ILV, that same person is only burning 5 SILV2. So if we look at this scenario in a bubble, which is better? You tell me in the comments. I'm going to say a $100 ILV. So I'll give that a star right here. So let's go to this third scenario here. So let's say whether you're new to this system or you're just looking at ILV and you want to spend more. Say you have $1,000 to spend on ILV. Well, at $100, you can buy 10 ILV. And at $200, you can only buy 5 ILV. These whole circles represent all of RevDis. So now if you're looking to be a buyer in here, you're able to get a larger share of the RevDis when the price is at $100 versus when you're buying at $500. So again, in a bubble, which scenario is better? The $100 ILV. All right, let's move on to this last scenario I have here. So let's say you're that same player and you want to spend $1,000 in game and you had previously bought 5 SILV2. Let's say we get to a point where SILV2 on the secondary is a very similar price to ILV, so it doesn't make sense to buy more SILV2. So if you want to spend $1,000 in game and you have 5 SILV2 just sitting there, well, half of your $1,000 is going to be SILV2, and the other half of the $1,000 that you're spending is going to be ETH. Now, if ILV was at a $200 coin, all $1,000 will be in SILV2, and you wouldn't be spending any ETH. So we know this SILV2 is just burned. It's not going to RevDis. So look at this one. In a bubble, would you rather have a $100 ILV or a $200 ILV? Well, I would rather burn SILV2 at a lower price and have some more ETH spent in game. So again, a $100 ILV wins. So we had 3 clear scenarios here where the $100 ILV is the better one. In this first scenario, we said it was about equal in a bubble. But now let's look outside of the bubble. If at 100 ILV, there's more SILV2 burned in this situation and there's more burned in this situation, that would lead to more spending of Ethereum, which means with a $100 coin here, yeah, you're getting the same share, but you're getting a share of a larger pie. So take this one out of the bubble. A $100 ILV is again the winner. And I bet you I got a lot of you thinking right now, the one scenario where I could say it's not better is if you bought ILV at a higher price and your goal was was just to sell it for a profit and the price came back down, then I guess in that scenario, you're not too happy right now. But if you're a long-term believer in Illuvium and you're buying to stake for that RevDis, then no matter how I look at it, a cheaper ILV token seems to be the better option than a more expensive ILV token. But I do want to make sure that everybody knows this is not financial advice. So do your own research. This is just my thinking when I saw the coin going down. Again, that thinking was sparked by Josh.eth in the token channel, but it makes sense. Let me know if this makes sense to you in the comments down below. Are you buying more ILV at this price? Are you holding? Are you selling? I'm curious myself. Again, make sure you're doing your own research if you're going to be investing or buying into anything Illuvium or ILV. But I hope this was informative in some way or another. Subscribe if you're not already, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.